Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another makeup diary. I'm gonna share with you 7 different looks that I've worn in the past 7 days, actually in the next 7 days, because I'm pretty sure I don't have any entries in my storage right now. So this is the first look that we're gonna be looking at, and yeah, you're just gonna see 7 different looks that I've been wearing, and just kind of how a basic week looks like for me. Some of these looks are probably gonna be more colorful and like testing out new products, and some of them are gonna be just like basic everyday things that I use. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially. I also love project panning and the project level up and all of these kinds of projects, and you will probably see a lot of that in these videos as well. So I hope you're gonna enjoy that, and now let's just get right into this look. So we're gonna start in the same order that I do my makeup, which is brows first. And for my brows, I mixed my matcha cookie shade from the Merry Christmas palette by Odin's Eye. So this bright green that I'm almost out of, and I mixed that with my DD Signature Chromebook Volume 2 with this purpley shade called Equerry. You can see that there's a lot of green in there because I've been using it in this manner. And then I have my Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, and I've been focusing on this ZC Colorful Animal 4 color eyeshadow in the version X03. So it's this colorful little kitty. And I've used this orange matte shade. It's like the main crease shade, and then I have this light pink one to blend it out. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've used the shade Equerry for my brows, but I've actually used this one. Yeah, this was my first time trying it with this shade, and it's slightly lighter than normal, but I think it's still a nice color. So yeah, I actually used this shade for my brows, and then these two on my crease, and I deepen it up in the outer corner with the shade Cartier. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm never really sure with this one. So yeah, this one is in my outer corner. I'm so used to using the purple shade that I just completely messed that up. Then I've used this ColourPop shadow sticks in the shade Hey Boo to create a cut crease. And then on that cut crease, I used the shade Breezy from this Spring Magic palette by Unearthly. So yeah, this vibrant blue in the first like third of the cut crease. And then on the lid, I have my NYX glitter primer and the Chromebook palette. So what I've used, I have, let me think. I have the shade Fierce in the last third. Let me actually maybe zoom in. I always forget to do that. So in the last third is the shade Fierce, which is this like hot pink to peach to like coral. Then in the center, I have the shade Supreme, which is this green blue multichrome. It is gorgeous. So that is in the center, and then in the inner third, I have the shade Green, which is this like reddish coppery base, and then a blue purple sheen. I love these kinds of shades. They kind of work on warm and cool toned bases. So I have that in the inner part. Do you see how sparkly all of them are? Like, this is so beautiful. I cannot describe with words how beautiful this look is in real life. I don't think it even like translates on camera. Then I have Duchess, this one, on the lower lash line because I wanted to have like a little bit of sparkle but not too much. And also this was the only shade that I haven't used for the second time. And I wanted to do an open left behind this palette. So to just have like one more point in my eyeshadow bank. So yeah, Duchess on the lower lash line, and then I have Empress, this beautiful shade in the inner corner. Actually really like it in there. It's so pretty, and again so sparkly. And then I have the Woodlands Eye Manage Liner in the shade 07. So it's just like baby blue, because again I just wanted to, because with that cut crease and with the way my eye is like hooded, it kind of looks like the entire eye is kind of encased in this blue color, and then all of the borders are orangey brown. So yeah, I just thought that that would be like a really pretty look. Then I have the Panorama volume mascara from L'Oreal, and it's starting to get better. Like the first couple days that I've been using it, it was kind of slightly too liquidy, which usually is with mascaras, but now it's starting to get that like it's slightly drier than it was when I first opened it, and that's exactly the type of formula and texture that I enjoy, and I think it's gonna stay like that for the next couple of weeks. Usually it lasts like a month and then it starts like completely drying out. So yeah, this is like exactly the spot where I like my mascaras to be at. And then I have the Superstay Concealer by Maybelline in the shade 10. As a blush, what do I have as oh, I know. As a blush, I have my Franken blush. So it's the gingerbread shade from the Merry Christmas palette together, like Franken together with my Essence All About Matte setting powder. And then as a highlighter, I have my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm using this shade down here, which is called Pluto, which is Frankened with my Snow Light shade from the Christmas Eve palette by Udensai. And I'm definitely seeing like a lot of progress on this shade. It's like, I just decided, since it's such a beautiful goldy warm highlight and it's in a palette that's like really easy for me to use up as a highlighter, I just decided to focus on it, and maybe I'll be successful in panning that, so, or like completely using it up. So that's, I think, everything that I was supposed to mention. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Brows, eyes, concealer. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything. So let me know what you think about this look. I personally think it's so pretty. Like, I just love looks like this. And I've been way more into them lately. Like, I remember when I first started, like, kind of testing my waters with these looks, and I didn't enjoy them at all. And now I'm just like, this is so pretty. So yeah, it's just, you know, the evolution. But yeah, that's it for today. And now let me show you the rest of the looks. Hi guys, so here's like a more of a softer, neutrally green look that I decided to create with this Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette from Glamlight. I'm currently testing it, and I kind of focus on like the grays with the green shades. So I used the gray shade called Gandalf as like the main transition shade. Then I have Gollum, this deeper, more like berry like purpley gray in the outer part, and then Merry in the inner part. And on the lid I have Frodo, One Ring, and Bilbo in the inner corner, and then I also have Legolas on the lower lash line. And as you can see, like, it is green, but it's kind of more like neutrally green, I would say. So if you're more like scared to wear greens, I feel like this is more like a smokier, normal version of a green eyeshadow. Hi guys, and welcome back to another look. Today it's my second look with the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette by Glamlight. And today I just kind of decided to use colors that I know I'm not gonna use for the third look, because I already have that planned, so I just used everything that's missing. And I'm actually really happy about this look. I was slightly nervous because usually I don't do like warm tones with blues, but because I also added purple shimmer on the lid, I feel like it immediately made it something that I would love to wear often. So yeah, but it's just like a very basic smoky eye. As I said, I used the Lord of the Rings palette, but before that, I'm gonna actually start with my brows because that's what I always do. And again, I mixed my matcha cookies shade from the Merry Christmas Palette by Wooden's Eye with this Chromebook Volume 2 by DD Signature, which is my palette crush of the month, and I used the shade Equerry. So that's on my brows, together with this Got2b Brow Gel. Then I used my Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, and I used a little bit of this white Colourpop Shadow Sticks in the shade Hey Boo in the inner part of the crease, because I wanted to use, from the Middle Earth palette, I wanted to use the shade Pippin, which is actually not that dark. I thought it's gonna be a lot darker on me, and I don't think I would even need the white base, but I did use it in the first fourth of the crease to make it slightly lighter there, but I don't think it was necessary. I'm gonna zoom you in. I don't think it was necessary. It would definitely work without that as well. And it's a beautiful warm shade. Then I used Gimli, which is this beautiful red, kind of more like a brown red, like it's very brown, which definitely works because I don't wear red shades. And then I also have Sauron, this one, black, in the outer part to just really deepen it up. And then I used my NYX glitter primer. I'm running out of this one, and I used this deep blue, kind of blue to purple duochrome in the second half of the lid, and then the shade right next to it, which is called the Fellowship, I have in the first half of the lid. So it's the Fellowship and then the darker shade over here, and then in the inner corner I used the Shire, this one, which is a beautiful kind of light green. I don't even know how to describe this shade. I never know how to describe these because it's not mint, it's not pistachio, it's not grass. How would you call this shade? I don't really know how to call this type of green. I know it in Czech, but I have no clue how you would call it in English, because I'm definitely sure it doesn't translate. And do I have anything else on? No. So that's for the eyeshadows. And then I have my Panorama mascara by L'Oreal. I have this, oh Jesus Christ, I have this Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Outer Space. It's this deep green blue in the waterline, because I just felt like that would really tie this whole look together. And because the bottom lash line is very warm. And then I have this Rimmel Candid Free Concealer in the shade 10 Fair. As a blush, I used my Franken blush, my Franken eyeshadow from the Merry Christmas palette, and it's the shade Gingerbread, that I mixed together with the Essence All About Matte setting powder. And it's this beautiful warm orangey blush that I've been just enjoying a lot. And again, sorry, everything is falling apart. From the Chromebook, I also used the shade Monarch as a highlighter, because this one's kind of like a pinky purple going into a greeny gold, so I felt like it would match with this look. And I just wanted to use this shade because it's a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. And then on my lips, I actually have the Eye of Sauron lip kit from the Lord of the Rings collection. So I have the Mordor lip liner. This one's like a red lip liner. It's actually really nice, very sharp, but it was really easy to create the line. Then I have this lipstick. I don't even know how this one is called. It's just, yeah, it's the lipstick. It's interestingly shaped. It actually has a magnet over there. And yeah, it's this warm, it's not fully red, it's more like that orangey warm red, which thank God, because I don't like cool tone reds. So that, and then it also has this gloss. This one is so pretty. It's like pink, orange, peach gloss. It feels like a really light lip oil. I'm gonna have to try more lip products from Glamlight because this feels wonderful. But yeah, this is how the lips look like. I think it's a really nice color. It's not something that I wear often, but it's very pretty. Hey guys, so here's the last look with the Middle Earth palette by Glamlight. And today I decided to go for this like purpley look because that's kind of the shade that I've been missing and I've been really wanting to focus. So what I used today on my brows, I have the regular combination, so matcha cookie from Merry Christmas from Odin's Eye mixed with the shade Equerry by DD Signature from the Chromebook Volume 2 palette. So that's on my brows. Then on my lids, I started with the Colourpop Shadow Sticks in the shade Hate Boo to use as a primer. It's a white pencil. And then I went in with this beautiful palette. So I knew I wanted to use the shade Arwen. So obviously I had to start with this matte shade called Evenstar. It's a beautiful purple. And with Arwen, obviously I had to pair Aragorn. So that's what is in my outer part of the lid. And then I have, or like the crease, and then I have Boromir right in the outer edge. On the lower lash line, I have Semis because that's the only matte shade that I haven't used yet. That was like unused from this palette. And then I went in with my NYX glitter primer, and I have Arwen in the second half of the lid, then Rivendell in the first half, and Galadriel in the inner corner. Let me actually zoom you in. So yeah, this is the look and it is gorgeous, if I may say so myself. Then I have this Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Amethyst Hour in my waterline. I have my L'Oreal Panorama Volume Mascara. Then this Superstay Concealer by Maybelline. I used my Duo Glue, this is the green one, and these little pearly things, I don't know how they're called, but yeah, these little pearls to create, I don't know, I just felt like it looks elvish, and that was my only like thing. So it's in the inner corner and then over here. And blush, I have the Revolution Fast Base blush in the shade Peach. And highlighter, obviously I have the One Ring highlighter from this collection, which is just really pretty, and it is still slightly darker. I had to like pat it with my fingers after I applied it with the brush to just kind of make it a little bit more seamless on my skin, but it's still really pretty and I do really enjoy it. And yeah, so this is the entire look. Hi guys, so here's another daily makeup look. Today I'm trying the Drops of Fantasy from DD Signature for the first time, so that's what you're gonna be seeing. But now let me get into brows first. So I mixed my matcha cookie shade from the Merry Christmas palette, but like, do you see how it looks like? I really want to get rid of it, like it's just so close. And I mixed that with my Soul Monatu palette by Odin's Eye and the shade Galaxy. I think you can even see that there's a bit of green in there. So these two to create a brow shade. Then I have the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue because I've used up my Got2b brow gel. Then I have my Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, and let me actually zoom you in. And from the eyeshadows, or like for the Drops of Fantasy, I used the shade Facade in the first half of the lid. Then I have Excitement, this vibrant green in the second half, and I slightly deepen it up with Mirage in the outer corner. Then I have my NYX glitter primer, and I used the Neverland shade from the Tinkerbell palette. I repressed it today because everything was around the borders and it was really hard to use it. Like, it had like giant pan, pretty much the entire size of the pan, so I just repressed it. Now it's like a super shallow layer, but at least it's easier to use, so I've used that to deepen up the second half of the lid. Then I used from the Drops of Fantasy the Spheres of Fun shade. It's actually quite dark. I'm used to from the Chromebook palette that the shimmers are a lot more iridescent, so this one is actually quite dark, and I have that in the first half. Then I also used the Bubbles of Joy. Is that how it's called? No, Bubble with Joy, sorry. This beautiful one in the inner corner, and I have a little bit of the Chromebook palette on as well. I used the shade Fierce. This one, slightly over the green to make it a little bit more like pinky peachy and make these two shades meet easier. Then I have the Revolution Streamline eyeliner in the shade Hot Pink, Maybelline Superstay Concealer in the shade 10, Panorama Mascara from L'Oreal, and blush. I mixed my Gingerbread Frankened blush from the Merry Christmas palette together with this shade, the shade Mirage, the shade Facade, to create like a slightly lighter version of this eyeshadow. And for highlighter and also under my brow bone, I have the shade Pluto, this one from the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette. And I have this Beauty Bay lip tint in the shade Scotch. So that's kind of everything that I'm wearing, and I think this is a really, really cute, pretty, everyday look. Yeah, like for me, this is like neutral everyday look. So let me know what you think about this one, and see you tomorrow with another look. Today I decided to create like this Pride flag and Pride Man inspired makeup look. I just got these cute little earrings from the Wilma collection with Beauty Wounds, so I needed to put them right on. Oh, this is the right side. So yeah, but let me show you how I created this look. I think I'm gonna zoom you in right away so that I don't forget, because I know myself. Yeah, and I think I'm somewhat of focused. So I'm gonna start with my brows, which is a mixture of the matcha cookie shade from the Merry Christmas palette by Udden's Eye. So that is in my brows together with the Salmon 2 palette. And I have the shade Galaxy, also from Udden's Eye. Then I have, where's the brow? Oh, I have the Maybelline Superlock setting brow gel. Then I have this ColourPop shadow sticks in the shade Hey Boo as my base, like a primer. And I'm mainly focused on the Drops of Fantasy palette by DD Signature because it's a new palette that I'm testing currently. And I use the shade Hype in the first half of the lid. Then the shade Facade to go like to have like an orange. And I have again the shade Matcha Cookie from the Merry Christmas palette, the same that I have in my brows. So it's here kind of in the second half of the lid, and then as a liner because I wanted to, you know, get some uses, and I did definitely notice a lot of progress on that shade because of this. Then let me see. Oh yeah, I know. On the lower lash line, the blue one is called Droplets, this one, and then the purpley one is called Frenzy. And then on the lid, on the lid, I have Let me figure it out. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just slightly confused, but it's fine. I have my NYX glitter primer. Then I have my Pendos eyeshadows, which is this Neverland shade from the Tinkerbell palette, together with, or like mixed with the shade Snowflake. Yeah, Snowflake from the Christmas Eve palette by Oden's Eye. Then over it and kind of in the center is the shade Fierce, to kind of have that like peachy pink red. And then in the first half I have I think it was Superior, or it's Royalty, but I think it's Superior. So that's in the first half. Then I also used my, because I wanted to have like a hollow sparkle all over the lid, so I decided to use my Ice Maiden palette by Beauty Moon Cosmetics. And I've used the shade Glacial because it has a hollow sparkle, kind of like, or like very colorful sparkle running throughout. I don't know if you can see that maybe, but yeah, it's very fun. And I was actually able to hit a pan on that eyeshadow. I don't know if you will see that, but it has a pan. And it just kind of adds like hollow sparkle. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I will try to film close-ups, and if it isn't currently showing on camera, I will just pop in a close-up of it. So very happy about that. And then I went back into the Salmone 2 palette, and I've used the shade Starry Sky because I do want to hit pan on it eventually. So I have that in the inner corner. And yeah, that's everything for eyeshadows. Then to finish this eye look, I have my Panorama mascara by L'Oreal. And then I used 3 different liners on the lower lash line because I just wanted to have like a fun little rainbowy effect. So the first third is this yellow shade from the Streamline eyeliners from Revolution, and it's called Yellow. Then I have this vibrant pink from the Salmone Gel Liner collection by Oden's Eye. This one is the shade 1. And then I have this light blue also from Revolution in the last third. Then I have my Superstay Concealer from Maybelline. This is the shade number 10. As a blush, I'm mixing 2 depotted shades from my Christmas palette by Oden's Eye. So I have the gingerbread shade from Merry Christmas. This one is like a Franken shade with a setting powder, and I mixed that with this shade, which is called Ice Crystal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, which is from the Christmas Eve. And when you mix them, you kind of get like a soft peachy blush. For highlighter, I have my Mini Charms palette by Beauty Bay, and I've used the shade Pluto as highlighter on the face, and I also have Milky Way under the brow bone to just have like a little bit of a highlight. And then on my lips, I have the Essence Adar Matte Comfort Lip Liner in the shade Cinnamon Spice. This one, it's my most used lip liner. And then I have this Oden's Eye and Angelica Nico's Halloween lipstick. This one is the matte one in the shade Swamp Fog, which is this kind of like bricky, orangey brown. I don't really know how to explain this shade, but it's a really nice shade that works for me. And I think that's everything that I'm wearing. I hope I haven't forgotten anything because I am capable of that, but I think I have everything. So let me know what you thought about this look. And yeah, that's it for today. See you with another look tomorrow. Hi guys, so here's another daily look. And I just did like a very simple green eyeshadow look. And I combined my Pendos eyeshadows and pen dye palette with my Project 20 uses. But first up, I used the shade Matcha Cookie, which is the shade from the Merry Christmas palette by Oden's Eye, together with this shade Equerry from the Chromebook Volume 2 by DD Signature to create this brow shade. Then I have my Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, and I've used the same green shade, so the shade Matcha Cookies, kind of all over the lid, and blended it out with the shade right next to it. And there's just like very little, like just here around the border right there, which is called Best Wish, also from the Merry Christmas palette. And I'm almost done with both of them. And then I use this Avatar The Last Airbender palette from Little Cosmetics, from their it's like the Earth palette. And I've used, wait, now I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I used the Daily shade in the outer part to like deepen it up, and then the 575 in the inner part to like brighten it there. And then I have the NYX glitter primer, and I've used the shade Metal Bending in the second half of the lid, and then the shade like Lao Guy in the first half of the lid. And I went back to the Chromebook palette, and I've used the shade Empress, this one, in the inner corner. It's just like a soft kind of like champagne-y silvery shade, and I feel like it kind of blends into everything. I actually forgot to zoom you in, but yeah, this is how the eyeshadows look like. Then I have a glow shade from Colourpop from the Cream Gel liner. I have my Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. Then I have my Maybelline Superstay concealer in the shade 10. Then, what else am I wearing? Oh, yeah, I know. As a blush, I have my Franken shade, this one, which is the gingerbread shade from the Merry Christmas palette. So I have that as a blush, and I have a little bit of this Franken shade, which is this shade called Softly, Franken with a setting powder. So I have that slightly as a bronzer. And as a highlighter, I used my Mini Charms palette by Beauty Bay, and I have this Franken shade down here, which is Pluto, the original shade, together with the Snowlight from Christmas Eve by Uden's Eye. And yeah, it's just like a warm goldy highlighter that I'm really enjoying. So that's what I've been using a lot, because I just want to use it up. And yeah, that's the entire look. So let me know what you think about it. And yeah, that's it for this video.